biggest question about this entire interview. Are you Team Edward or are you Team Jake?
Hot takes. We have discussed this so much.
Edward from day one.
I'm Alex Alicia. Welcome back to my channel. Tonight I am joined on Zoom all the way from California by the very lovely Evan, Hunter and Brooke from Shayesteh Petra. For anybody that's not yet heard of you guys, how would you describe your band, your music and your style? How would you describe Shayesteh Petra?
Evan?
We like to call it quarter life crisis pop rock.
I love it.
And I'm still going through a quarter life crisis, so it still works for me. I'm just joking. I'm totally fine.
I mentioned obviously in my introduction that you're from California, so Long Beach to be exact. Growing up around LA and just all the amazing things you've got around you for music, what was that like? You know, what's been the best thing about being where you are?
That's a great question.
I think the most obvious answer is like there has been no lack of opportunity to meet people who want to play music, to find shows, to, you know, like people here want you to go big or go home. I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like some places it's hard to like find your niche or find a group that's going to support you, but being so close to LA in this like artistic, everybody wants to be a fucking movie star type thing, like yeah, there's a lot of support.
Yeah, it's a very like hungry place for musicians. I feel so. Like there are a lot of people I don't even know that will hit me up or hit people I know up that are just like, hey, let's jam so we can start a band so we can make a living. And it's I mean, I don't know. I've never lived anywhere else that's way different from LA or just other than LA. So I don't really know what it's like out besides that. So yeah, I've always appreciated how much we're able to do with so little, or so little like personally. But there's a lot of people that want to help and are looking for, you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also
I grew up in the suburbs. Away from LA.
That's the answer.
I did not grow up in LA. About an hour away, in just sort of a boring suburban town. Right. So there was still support to like take music lessons and learn how to do that. But it was harder to find other musicians growing up who were serious about it like I was.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of good experiences, but once it finally got serious was because I was driving up to LA and on Craigslist, like, oh, you guys need whatever. Oh, you guys want to play? Okay, great. I'm going to head up there. So
yeah.
So even an hour out, it's like not the same.
Well, I remember when Brooke we first started playing together, and yeah, she would have to drive up from Orange like every time we had practice, but it was like I don't know. At the time, it was like, wow, she's so committed. She drives like 40 minutes.
Yeah. I guess you'd have to be, definitely. And I mean, obviously, just touched on that story you just mentioned there, Brooke. You guys actually Hunter and Evan, you started the band, didn't you, in about 2017, the project. And then, of course, Brooke, you started with the band in about 2018. So for you guys, how actually did you all meet? If obviously, Brooke, you were living further away. How did Shayesteh Petra become Shayesteh Petra?
Well, Evan and I have been friends since we were like 13, 14.
I thought you were about to say 4, and I was like, oh no.
4? No, we were like neighborhood kid friends. And so we've been playing music forever. And then with Brooke, I feel like when Chase Petra first started, I was very much on my last leg. Like I was super depressed, like didn't think it was gonna work out. And I was just kind of like asking around, like, is there anybody who would be down to play music with me? With, you know, like I just want somebody to play with. And I was working in a hair salon at the time, and one of our mutual friends was like, oh, I know this girl named Brooke, she plays bass. And I was like, this isn't gonna fucking work, come over. like I had no hope whatsoever. And then she showed up, and it was like, I think it was Christmas time, and we had both just been like, broken up with our partners, and we were just, I don't know, it just was one of those things where it was just like, oh, this is it, this makes sense, like we're already friends. And then this.
Yeah. And then you all became you guys. And Brooke, for you, what was it like joining Evan and Hunter as well? And, you know, having to travel, was that difficult for you? Or were you happy to do it because for the love of the music?
Just saying, this was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life.
Yeah.
I was really unhappy. I was going to school for classical music, which I was very happy to have the opportunity to do, but it just wasn't for me. So the second I heard, like, wait, band that wants a bass player and some singing. Oh yeah, okay. So I was so miserable doing what I was doing that I would do anything. I was so happy to drive 45 minutes in traffic after a full day of school to go to rehearsal. So and then I dropped out of school and moved here, and now
crazy stuff. You straight were just like, I'm out, fuck it.
I was just looking for that catalyst, I guess.
Wow.
But here we are.
That's amazing. And when you all finally met up, did you connect musically? Did you all have the same vision straight away?
Oh, dang.
We had a vision. We were just floating along.
Yeah, our first album's kind of that. Our first album, that was kind of, I think that whole first album was like sort of us figuring that out, because Hunter had written a lot of songs, and then we had done a couple songs together, and then Brooke came, and then we wrote a couple of those songs together. And so a lot of Liminal is like 3 different chapters of like a couple years of music.
Yeah.
It was more of just like a way to just, I don't know. I had never done a full length ever, so I was like, I just want to do an album, and we were like, let's just do an album. And
we tripped into it. It was like an accidental, like, I guess we're recording an album now.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
exactly.
I mean, I've heard you guys say, because obviously you're talking about Liminal, which is your first debut album. It was released in summertime last year, 2019. I've heard you guys actually mention before that the sound and the recording of that is different to your live sound. So, you know, again, in terms of visions, like, did you actually mean to do that? Or, you know, was that the intent? What happened with that?
I think we were just experimenting, and we weren't entirely, like, we do all come from pretty different backgrounds in terms of like what we listen to. Like, you know, Evan's very eclectic, really into Billy Joel.
Very eclectic,
We're super into like post-punk, like kind of darker stuff.
Yeah.
And I like pop music. So we all came from really different backgrounds, and I think because of that, we were just like throwing spaghetti at a wall and like seeing what shape it would take. And so I think our live sound is a bit more true to what we actually are, because a lot of the album, I think, is just a lot of like, I don't know, let's try.
Yeah.
Let's add some horns, and let's add 5 layers of vocals, and let's add.
Yeah. No, and it's been really cool. I think my favorite thing about that is that now where we are writing our next album is very we know what we did wrong the first time, or not wrong. We know what we did that we didn't like the first time. And so now at least where I am personally, like I'm trying to write parts and make sure that everything I can do is something that will be really well recorded and also transcribed well in front of an audience, because I never realized the importance of that until after this album. I didn't realize, oh shit, I didn't realize people wanted to hear
the album.
I wanted to hear the same thing. I thought we could just do whatever and then we're done. So it's been really nice to write like that, and it also makes me do more. I feel like I'm trying to be less of a drummer and more of a band member, and so I like that. I like more.
I would say I think we're all looking forward to the next record where we do kind of use our instruments and our voices just as instruments, not just like, oh, I'm writing a bass line, oh, Hunter's playing, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like what we're doing is something sort of cohesive, and it's been really fun to challenge ourselves, I think, to do something different than we've done before. At least I know we've talked about this a bit, just using our instruments as just another musical element versus keeping it in that narrow box of what you would normally do from that instrument, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Going from a session player to a band member.
Sure, yeah.
Nice. I love that development. Talking a little bit more about your new music and the new album coming, but just going back a little bit to Liminal, you talk about some really important themes, quite heavy themes as well, you know, within the lyrical content of the album. And how important is it for you guys to have creative freedom in the writing process?
I can't even imagine somebody trying to censor or like control words or the content of songs. Like, we've never been signed, or like we've never really had a control, so like I would lose my shit. I would truly like self-destruct if somebody were like, no, you can't do that, or just like the things on Liminal and really in any song we would write are entirely honest, very candid, like kind of like pictures of our lives, and like I can't really imagine trying to like tamper that or make it more like, what's the word, I don't know,
commercial maybe, or something, you know, people ask you to do like certain things.
Yeah, easier to listen to or less offensive, or not offensive, not the right word, but I would fight someone.
I mean, if you can't say what you need to say in music, then when are you going to say it?
Yeah.
John Mayer.
Yeah.
Oh God. Thank you.
Eclectic. I have eclectic music. Billy Joel, John Mayer. That's it. That's all.
No, the only thing. Just before we go on, is someone near an airport? I keep hearing
it's Brooke.
No, those themes, and yeah, I think it's really important to have a voice, and to be able to express that voice, and especially in music, because that's where people, you know, hear certain opinions, and that's where people can express themselves, you know, if you are a musician. But having a platform in music, are you all happy to just put it all out there and, you know, be honest? Because it seems to me like you are, especially with Liminal. So is that something that you're going to keep doing, do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a little weird sometimes, because it does feel a bit like a diary, where it's like, oh, the person I wrote this about is going to hear it. Like, you know, like, so sometimes it's a little like, but I would never, in terms of lyrical content, I would never change, you know, the way that we write, because I don't know how I even could, you know?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, you just said about like, you know, you'd be scared for the person who you wrote it about to hear it. Has that ever happened that you know about?
Definitely. The worst ones, I wrote a song a long time ago where people actually, like, they asked me not to play it. They were like, he's here, you can't play that song. And I was like, but no, the other.
I want to know.
Oh, dude, it's a long story. It was about a really, really shitty dude who deserved.
Say it. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Don't do that.
But the other weird ones are, I do write a fair amount about like my family, because I have a very interesting relationship, and sometimes I've had to go to my parents and be like, listen, before you hear this song,
oh, okay,
like, prepare yourself. It's about you. It's gonna hurt. So I have had to do that once or twice.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Is that a scary thing to do, actually, Hunter?
Yeah. I don't know. As fucked up as my family or my parents have been in my life, they're also very supportive of my music and my art. And I think that's part of the thing, is like most of the people that I write about are, you know, close to me, and so they support me even if it's weird or hard or awkward. So
yeah,
I appreciate them for that.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, people that have heard your songs, the tracks from that album, have you heard stories from them about them being really grateful that you've actually spoke out about certain subjects? You know, have you heard anything from anyone?
A little, yeah. Hello.
Okay.
So I've gotten like a message or two. I got a message. Oh my God.
Guys, I'm so sorry. 1 second. The fire alarm is going off in my building.
Sorry.
Guys,
Thank you.
Got it. You're
no,
good.
it's okay.
Is it all good? No fire?
No, no fire. Yeah, sorry, back to the music. Yeah, so the responses, obviously, you were saying, Hunter. Yeah. Have you heard any stories from anybody, you know, who's listened to your music?
Yeah, and it's one of, like, when people talk about like the lyrics or like what it's done for them or what it meant to them, I never know what to say, because it's like I cannot express the gratitude that I feel in people, like, you know, like that's all we ever want, is just to like connect with people and to have them feel something because of what we made. And like there was this one artist, her name's Diamond, she's also from Long Beach, amazing, and she DM'd me and she was like, I don't know who wrote the lyrics for the song, but you know, I feel like I've known this person for my entire life. And when she said that to me, it was just like, oh fuck. Like, I don't, like, it's the highest praise. Like it's amazing. That's all I got. I don't know.
I love it. And right, so you've got new music coming out as well. So just, you know, on the same vein, but on a separate note, what can you tell us about the new album that you are currently, you know, recording? I don't want to give anything away, so.
It's still a surprise. Much of it is still a surprise to us. So we're still in the process of developing it, but I don't know. I think our music is just really honest about where we're at. So I feel like it's just sort of a mature step forward.
Yeah,
that's the best way I could describe it.
It's like better liminal.
Yeah. It's like
I love liminal.
Don't hate on it, you know.
I feel like it's gonna be I think Brooke's right. It's gonna be a lot more mature. And I think some of the angst that was in the first record will be still there, but not like a different form of angst. Yeah. A little more tired angst.
Evolved
I think
angst.
is more appropriate right now.
Evolved angst. That is
Evolved angst.
Yeah.
That's the name of the record right there.
No, I'm super looking forward to it. I'm just frustrated by like writing, recording, getting everything like ready to be released. It's gonna take a while, and I'm just sad because I want to put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, we're not super used to like being super prepared about this. Not that sounds like a horrible thing to say about us.
We don't have a team.
Yeah. We're so used to like, well, when we did our first record, we were like, oh, we have like 5 songs. We were like, no, we have 8 songs, but 4 of them aren't written. So let's go record a record. And so now we're like, let's go in with like 10 songs and then record 8 and then do those 8. So it's been a learning curve in a cool way. But I think the weird thing about being in a band is that you have to make your own deadlines, and I think that's the death of everything. Like, as a journalist, like, do you book your interviews with artists, and like it's so hard to keep up on yourself sometimes, and I think that's like the biggest lesson in life at this point for me. It's like, oh, I want something to happen. How do I make it happen? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I have to do what?
Oh shit!
Wait,
I don't like that.
I mean, I completely agree with Evan, because it is similar for me, like, because I am actually the worst person at being on time normally for anything. You know, like my alarm, like on a morning, might have to go off like 8 times before I actually get up. So like I am the worst. And obviously when you're like kind of like your own boss, I guess you can make your own excuses and you can give yourself a lot more leeway. So like, how do you all actually adapt to those circumstances when it comes to, you know, writing and recording?
So hard.
God.
I guess, I mean,
We hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Blame everyone else.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, definitely, I don't know, like we've taken to kind of having a sort of planning sesh about every time we practice.
Yeah.
We've gotten a little better at just kind of recapping, okay, what did we do? What did we accomplish? What are our goals for next time? Like, we kind of set tentative dates in our little shared calendar in our phones, and it seems to help. But it's a constant thing for sure. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with like, you know, Evan's going to school. We all have jobs. Like, it's rough out here. I want to quit my job so bad.
Do it.
No.
See, you know, writing and recording, the writing process and being in the studio, is that something that you guys enjoy doing? Because I have spoken to a few of the musicians about this before, and they've kind of said, oh, we prefer to play live music and we hate doing that part or whatever. But do you guys enjoy that bit, or would you rather just have that done with and get back to live music?
If I could live in a studio, which I intend to at some point, I would. I love playing live music, and actually I think since the pandemic, I think it's taught me that I really do rely on it. Not unfortunately, but I relied on it to just be social, because like other than shows, I would either play drums or hang out with my girlfriend or do school. So like and work. And so like I do those other things, and then I would go play shows, and that's when I meet all my friends and I see all my friends, and you know, Hunter and Brooke are my sisters. So like I see them and then so ever since that's happened, I've just been at home and I started recording on my own and trying to do session work and working on other people's music, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But I think it's taught me that I like doing it by myself, and I like being by myself. But when you're in a studio with other people, everyone's there for the same reason, to just make a bitchin' record. And I don't think there's a better reason to be somewhere. Genuinely, I don't think there is a better reason to be anywhere.
I think it's got to be like, you know, the place to be. I think, you know, when you're in a studio, I think, you know, do you not feel the energy of other people that have been there before you? Does that help inspire you, you know, to do what you're doing?
Yeah, it's so intimidating too.
You're like, oh fuck, I have to be good now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the cool. No, Brooke had said it really well. We did a live stream the other day. Oh no, Hunter said it. We did a live stream we pre-recorded a live stream a couple of days ago that I think is coming out next week. And they said like, all right, like if you guys mess up, you're more than welcome to redo a song. And then I was like, oh, okay. And so we do like this 3 or 4 songs, and we're like, oh, Brooke and I were like, we should redo this one. And Hunter was like, if they didn't tell you guys that you couldn't redo one, we would have played the set perfectly. So I was like, oh yeah, that's like it's like that moment when you're in a nice studio and you're like, I can't mess up, and then you actually won't mess up because you can't.
Yeah.
And it's really fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think being in the studio is like playing live music. There's like a lot of a feeling and amazing, like, whoa, but being in the studio and writing the song and like when you're in it and it's vibing, like there's a whole other level of like satisfaction that comes with that. On the other hand, it's also like some of the most stressful parts of being in a band, like having to get that you're in a nice studio, you gotta just do it. And like I used to hate it. It used to stress me the hell out. But now that we've been stuck inside for like a year almost, I've grown to really like it, actually. Like I've gotten over a lot of my stress and found that like you're gonna do what you're gonna do. And honestly, it's kind of tight to just be with your friends and be able to write. And even when you're tired and grumpy and you don't want to be there anymore, like still grateful for it, you know?
Yeah. I love those times. I kind of love it all. I feel like recording, the writing and recording process is where you kind of earn it. Like you put in that work and it's enjoyable and we're like tearing our fucking hair out, but we're smiling about it. And that's where you earn the right to play fun shows. I feel like shows are kind of the fun part where you just
celebrate it.
Yeah. So it's you need both, you know, like if you're only playing shows, that's not productive either. So it's
you need both. You need the content to be able to go out and play a show, don't you? So speaking about live music, of course I've never actually seen you guys live. 2 reasons. You're very far away. You're like fly out. And of course lockdown will make that extra difficult, but you know, thanks to technology I've been able to see you guys, you know, in digital format, I guess, on YouTube and live stream and stuff like that. And I've seen you guys perform live that way. And even from a little screen, I can see you guys are so tight when you're on stage and you've got amazing charisma together. I think you're just brilliant. I love your energy. I love your vibe.
Thank you.
For you guys, when you're playing live, how is there any better feeling than that? And, you know, how do you think all of you guys gel together? What do you think the magic is?
Well,
getting to the gig like 5 minutes late.
That's
where we all connect.
He said, "I'm over it."
Yeah. Brooke quit.
Play with you anymore.
I'm sure she'll be back on. Do you want to wait? Should we wait, or do you want to keep going? Oh,
there she is.
She's back.
Am I back? I'm back? Okay.
You're back.
Sorry. Hello.
No, you're good.
I'm sorry. We were about to reminisce about things. Carry on.
I was gonna say, I think a huge part of the reason that we have such a good time on stage is because we are all very good friends. Like, I can imagine, you know, if you're not super close or you're not super tight with your bandmates, like it could still be an amazing time, but like, I don't know, these 2 are my family, and like it brings me such joy to see them play music and to be able to watch them, like, so being able to do it, you know, it's big old smile on my face.
Of course. And I mean, in terms of like I say, the glue that you know holds you all together, what do you think that magic is musically? How do you know, what is it do you think about you all that makes you click and gel musically?
God,
I think we're all very different musicians. I don't know.
Yeah, we're all very different people.
Yeah,
maybe that's it.
Yeah.
That we're no one's competing to be any certain thing because we're all so different.
I guess so. I mean, I feel like there are certain songs where I feel like some of us take the lead and some others don't, and not in a sorry. I hope that doesn't sound bad, Hunter and Brooke. I'm not trying to say. I don't think that's a bad thing, but there are certain songs where it's like, oh, this is a more like punk rocky song that Hunter's probably going to lead more on this one, and then Brooke always leads the bridge. Usually, she kill the bridge.
I didn't realize this.
In the
Wow. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah. So, like, there's just certain parts where like I think there's certain songs where it's like, okay, this is the time where we like back this person, we back that person in certain moments. Like Fleetwood Mac.
Ah, Fleetwood Mac.
You
Well, hang on.
us to Fleetwood Mac.
Yes, we are Fleetwood Mac. Thank you.
I'm just saying we're all members of Fleetwood Mac. I'm just
for you guys, in terms of just inspiration, really, you know, I think you're, as a band, Shayesteh, Petra, you're on your own power, I think. Of course, you're in a genre bracket because, you know, indie rock and that kind of thing, but I don't actually think that you are. I think you have a bit of everything in there, and you definitely have your own style and you do your own thing. It's really original. So for you guys, though, do you have any inspirations, either individually as musicians or band inspirations? Who do you think those people are?
Personally, most people that know me know I have a huge love for like post-punk, dark wave kind of things, like new wave, all of that sort of stuff. So that definitely inspires me because I feel like there's a lot of nuance in what the bass does. And just sort of like weird, unconventional things. Like some of my favorite little parts that I've written for us are when I was just like fucking around trying something weird and I'm like, wait, oh, but that worked though? Oh, wait, you like this? Oh, okay. But then in terms of like specific inspiration for our band and I guess where we're currently at, I've been actually thinking a lot about, I've been listening to and thinking a lot about Hop Along and Elliott Smith.
Nice. Okay.
So I don't know, just instrumentally, I think both of those bands have just, I mean, objectively, they're just incredible and make very tasteful but interesting choices that are really tight, and it gives you no more or no less than the music calls for. It's just exactly what it needs. So if it's going to be expected and satisfying and more normal, because that's what's like satisfying to the emotions for that part of the song, then that's super warranted and that's okay. But then if it's gonna get weird, it's like for a reason because the music is calling for that.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about.
And how about anybody else? Have you got any other, you know, inspirations or any names you want to drop for people that, you know, you look up to or aspire to be?
I think someone that I've been listening to. Oh, I'm not lately. I've been listening to my whole life, but I think that they're my favorite person ever that I believe should be recognized because I don't think he gets enough recognition. But is this person named Jim O'Rourke?
Right.
And he is. He's a weirdo, but I mean, right now he does a lot of like sound albums where it's just like an hour of like drones and stuff, which is cool. But he used to do a bunch of records in the early 2000s that were just like instrumental. They're like instrumental indie rock orchestras, and they're beautiful like half an hour songs of just like of these. It's just like it's like being in a forest or something. I don't know, but in terms of like musicality and like being able to make really beautiful transitions that make sense, I think that's who I think of a lot. And then as well as that, and then I also like, I don't know, Paul Simon's records in terms of production I always think of, and then drumming wise I always think of like I want to be like the drummer from Queens of the Stone Age, but also the drummer from Wilco. If I could make that happen, I would be fine. That'd be great.
Nice.
So yeah, those are where I get my inspirations from.
Yeah. Who was that again, Evan, that you just mentioned? Because I'd definitely check him out.
Oh yeah, it's Jim O'Rourke.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check out. And obviously Hunter, who do you think, you know, inspires you?
So I've been listening to the Twilight soundtracks.
Oh, I've just watched the clips. Are you serious?
Yes.
Honestly, dude, fire.
The soundtracks for every single one of those movies was impeccable. Like, oh my god. So yes, I've been listening to the Twilight soundtracks quite a bit. I also lyrically like a lot of Phoebe Bridgers.
Oh fuck. Yes.
Yeah. Phoebe Bridgers. I also have been feeling inspired by Enter Shikari too. I like. Yeah, they're one of my favorite. They've been one of my favorite bands since I was in high school, and so like, I don't know. I'm trying to like, all the songs are coming out kind of different because some are like very sad because it's like Phoebe, but then some of the songs are like, what's even happening because it's Enter Shikari, you know, like. So, but I also my overarching theme is just like I like pop music. Like Miley Cyrus dropped an album. I listen to Dua Lipa. I listen to Ariana Grande. Like, I don't know. They just the hooks. I try to get inspiration for the hooks, but
the Miley Cyrus album's really good.
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
I haven't heard it. Should I listen?
I haven't listened either, Brooke. To be honest, my brother has.
All right. We'll listen together and share our thoughts.
We'll have to Zoom and give it a go. Hunter, biggest question of this entire interview: are you Team Edward or are you Team Jake?
Oh!
Hot takes. We have discussed this so much.
Edward from day one.
I'm a Team Edward person.
Team Edward, obviously. Jacob sucks. Jacob manipulates her. He threatens to kill himself, or else he like makes her make out with him. It's horrible.
I've just watched it. I love it. Great. Well, anyway, your inspirations are a very good mix. I think that's definitely what comes across, you know, in the music that you guys put together and you produce, because, and I think a good mix of influences helps a band musically overall, you know, just, I think it's good. It's good to not just, you know, listen to one thing. And I think you guys definitely bring all of those influences across. Some new stuff I can check out as well. So thank you so much. So obviously we talked about your new music that's come in. Have you got anything else to, you know, on the horizon for us to look forward to?
Been working on some sick merch that we've been hand making ourselves, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah. And then we have, I believe we have a live stream coming out at some point next week, right? I believe it's like the 7th. And then we're also, as for right now, that's pretty much it. We're kind of in the dark right now because we're still working on our next record. So I think the next record will be the next big thing for us. If I'm being honest.
We're working as fast and hard as we can. Like if we could put it out tomorrow, we probably would.
Yeah.
It takes time.
That's kind of why we're not doing many other things right now, is so we can focus the time we have on getting this goddamn record out.
Yeah, but well, you know, another cool thing though is that there's a record of a friend of ours that is coming out that Brooke played on and Hunter played on, or will be singing on, and I played on. So you can hear Chase Petra as session people through another record.
Hire us to be your backing band.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, we've got all that to look forward to, so that's cool. This is completely random on a completely separate note, but I ask everybody this who I get to speak to. Have you got a motto, a saying, or a quote that you like to live your lives by?
Oh, that's a great question.
Like as a band?
As a band, individually, it's up to you guys.
I feel like such a fucking nerd, but I straight up have one that I have lived my life by.
What is it?
I love it.
It's I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night. It's Galileo.
Amazing. Love it. Are you gonna have that for everyone? Have you all got your own individual favorite?
I have one. I'll spring one on you.
Okay.
I am gonna quote the late great. Huh?
The ocean doesn't want me to die.
Yeah. I'm gonna quote the late great Fraser Crane and say, "If less is more, think about how much more and more would be."
Oh.
I love it.
It's like a riddle.
Yeah.
I love it.
Damn. I'm so sorry. I'm drawing a blank here, so I'm going to resort to humor and just say, you know, I just like to live, laugh, and love.
God damn it! No.
Beautiful.
That's it, folks. Thank you.
I know one. I mean, it's simple, but Brooke, it's caring is cool.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
I was saying for a while, and you know, I still agree. Okay, caring is cool. There you go.
Brilliant. final note, have you actually got a message that you would like to send out to Chase Petra fans, followers, lovers of your music? Have you got anything you want to let them know as well, and anything you want to say?
You own my
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know.
We owe literally everything.
Yeah.
I can't believe that people even listen, and it feels so good. It nearly breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
for
very
being
much.
here.
Also, thank you there are a lot of people that have been buying merch after we haven't been plugging our merch since we released it. Or no, we did like on Black Friday, but even before then we've been getting I've been getting like 3 or 4 merch orders a week, and so I am so surprised people even remember to buy merch, and so that is literally what makes the band happen. So
you're funding this album. Thank you.
you're like literally funding this album, and you're literally like making any sort of profit happen for us. And so not profit, that's a horrible word.
Well, that's how we can do it.
Amazing.
That's how we can keep doing it. So.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah. Just thanks for being a part of it.
Mm-hmm. And wear a mask. Please wear a mask.
And wear a mask. So we can play shows again.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for chatting to me. That is everything I wanted to say to you, this evening and ask. Yeah, it's been a pleasure meeting you and talking.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're so good at your job. Thank you
You're
so
really
much.
good.
Yes.
It was great to speak with you.
Can we all do a virtual handshake?
You what? Sorry, Evan.
Can we all do a virtual handshake really quick?
Very good.
In real life, that would look so fucking weird.
Yeah. Guys,
I think we
I
should
have to
just
come
do
and
that
see
now.
you or something. I need to come and see some gigs. I miss gigs. So if you're ever or if ever I am over there, I will definitely check you guys out.
Yeah, please.
Where are you?
Okay, so
Okay.
guys, thank you so much for chatting to me. It's been a pleasure.
Aside from the interview, like, are we friends now? Because I would like to be your friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we friends?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
So cool.